Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on, Tuesday the 16th of November. Forgetting which day it is now. So they're all looking similar. Let's look at the risk events before we get cracking on with anything else. And we just need to have a look at the calendar for today then. So let's just look at today's and nothing else so I don't get confused. We've already seen the Australian monetary policy minutes and Reserve Bank of Australia's Governor Lowe speaking. He's basically suggested they won't be doing anything with interest rates until inflation is well over 2.5 and it's more likely if it moves up fast as opposed to if it just crawls up there. Anyway, there we are. And he also wants the jobs situation to be and employment figures to be right, basically. Core retail sales in the US this afternoon then that could create some volatility at 1:30. As ever, we're seeing better movements in the afternoon lately, so that may well create as I say, some volatility later. Industrial production at 2:15. Okay, so nothing much to worry about there. One thing that's driving the dollar maybe at the moment is the yields. We're seeing bonds sold and yields increase, and hence the consequences is a stronger dollar, and that's definitely been seen through the market, and that's what we've got. As we look through here, I'm looking at the euro on a 60-minute, but let's run out and just look at the dailies. In fact, let's come right out and look at the weeklies, and it's in a continued drop at the moment. Fall. It doesn't seem to be wanting to do anything too much, but continue this road southwards. And whatever time frame, the only thing I would like to see is some sort of bounce to sell into it, but otherwise it's continuing to, as I say, run to the downside. Looking at the daily pivots there, untouched at the moment, that might be a point where if it does manage to get any ground in, it finds some resistance, so I'll be watching for that for today. Okay, so remain bearish on the euro. Fundamentally, sentiment all lines up, everything lines up. Now an odd one then, I say an odd one, but a movement completely opposite way then at the moment is on the pound. It has put a bullish old morning in. I was looking for quick answers to this, didn't see anything, but I'm sure there's some reasoning, but it has pushed up this morning and running quite well at the moment. Now nothing immediate off this. It's run through its weekly pivot. I was looking for that yesterday to see if that gave us an opportunity to sell. It might do today. We'll see how things, this is 6 minutes left of the hour, see what happens afterwards and see if we get a some sort of reversal coming down. But it has put higher lows and higher highs there, so on the bigger pictures, well, largely on the bigger picture, it still certainly looks bearish. It's running just short of its daily 8 at the moment, which might stall it as well. And we're coming to the 4 hourlies, though the weakness in the downside maybe is the fact that we've got a higher low that's confirmed through there, but we are running into the 34 and not far short of the 4 hourly 50, which may provide the resistance. And then again on the hourlies you can see the higher lows coming through this market, but again a bit of a butterfly pattern that's sort of sitting there on the hourly, so I'll wait, see how things shape up post 8 o'clock, but my preference is to see if we can get a downside move on it, but I'm open-minded. The dollar yen, well, we're seeing weakness coming through here. It's just straightforward weakness and just gradually working its way up. The question is sort of, we're not too far, if you are where my cursor is at the moment at 114.30ish, not too far off where it seems to be the sort of the resistance point on this. Are we going to see a break this time, or is it going to fall away again? If you come out to the monthlies, and I've got to come right out to the monthlies to show you this really, and you'll see what I mean here. It's quite an important area around there. It's right back here. It's been resistance, but at some point it looks like, well, it will go. And the more when I come down the time frames here to look at the dailies, actually if I look at the weeklies first, you can see that the cluster around that area. There we go. You can see the cluster a bit clearer around that area. It's been trying, and the more around that area it sort of sits, the more chance it has, I guess, of breaking. Okay, so maybe got more upside on the yen today. Aussie dollar. So as I said, Reserve Bank of Australia, the Governor's spoken, and well, this is looking on the softer side here. It's already shaping up quite soft here on the dailies. Might just continue through today. I quite like this on the downside at the moment, the way it's shaping up. We've got a few minutes, let this candle finish off. It's quite a bearish look there. And it's looking at the hourlies, double top, lower, well, almost double top, lower high actually, and that's confirmed. So let's just see what happens post 8 o'clock there. The Aussie looks reasonable. Canadian dollar. Canadian dollar bouncing in once again at this stage. I was sort of hoping it will start breaking over, but the general dollar strength here is stalling this at the moment. It's been sort of working its way further south, but the overall strength is slowing the move effectively. But we'll see. It's just hit its daily pivot. It could roll over, but I'm sort of only looking at the Canadian dollar on the bigger time frames. I don't really like day trading it. It's not. It does have one or two signals that come up okay, but there we are. Okay, okay, there's the majors at the moment. I'm looking at across pairs, euro yen, really largely rolling southbound. The yen certainly holding up better, has been holding up better than the euro, and well, largely better. However, is it trying for a higher low here? Possibly. But I still, as I say, still prefer the downside, so I would be waiting patiently on that. Maybe a trend line below the lows there, a break of that would be more bearish. Right, that's that. Let's have a look at the commodities. Commodity wise then, coming out the time frames, again gold sitting around these highs here. If I come out one more time frame, you can see it's broken its trend line here. Next sort of area of resistance is at 1920. It might be a draw up there. Don't expect it to be particularly fast. Often is quite slow, so that's what I'm looking at there. It's say tapping on the door. At some point it might get its way in there. Short term though, just watch out for the breakdown to the 4-hourly pivot. In fact, it might even give some support if it gets back down to there for a bit of rebated purchase price, a bit of discount. Looking then at shorter time frames, it's quite a mess, and as I always say with this, look for smaller positions, bigger stops. That's what you really need, and you can still make the money because of the volatility that sits in there. Right, okay, right, that's that. Oil. There seems to be a bit of a debate going on oil, and I saw a note in the news there that the OPEC are not willing to push pump any more oil at the moment. They're sticking with their plans, despite the US wanting to pump more and push prices down, but not happening at this stage. So Western Texas pushing up there, then to this morning. Almost into that monthly pivot. Looked at this yesterday. It was such a mess. I just couldn't do too much with it, and I'll just wait until I can see a clearer bit of picture here. It's maybe lower highs, lower lows that was running through there, but easier said after the event. Looking at the RSI here, expect divergence. Yeah, there's divergence sitting there, and well, breakdown of the lows here. At some point, may see it running back to its daily pivot. That's sort of bold statement from OPEC there. Might be followed by some sort of bold statement from the US later. We'll see. That might be enough to move it. Right, I see there's more rigs drilling in the US now. Only 4 more though. Wasn't a massive weekly gain, but the number of rigs that starts, you can start watching the rig count as the price pushes up and stays up, makes it much more logical to be pumping. Anyway, there we are. That's oil. Let's move across then to the other markets, and we'll look at what time is it? 8:01. Good. We can just have a quick look through. So it's actually been open. 16th. Yeah, this is 16th. Yeah, it's all right. It ended up on a down day yesterday. It's ended up on, well, it looks like it pretty much same doji there on the CSI 300, looking softish. So Nikkei remaining. I was almost expecting a gap fill there overnight there with the through the Asian session, but still, I say it's almost a, yeah, it has closed slightly higher and still looking a little bit more bullish for the higher lows through there. So at this stage I'm just sort of looking, there's probably a bit of RSI divergence on the shorter time frames between those highs just to watch out for. FTSE opened up again yesterday, not really a great deal of movement there. I just see these equity movements, equity markets pushing up. There were some Bank of England members, including the governor, that interviewed yesterday by the select committee. That didn't really draw too much out, and it looks like, well, it's still low interest rates potentially, but there's absolutely no commitments, no forward guidance was wanted to be given, and there you are. That's what they're for, isn't it? Meanwhile, DAX continue to push up here at this stage, as is the CAC, both pushing up strongly this morning, and leaving the FTSE behind for now. So bullish in the equity markets. I would not be trying to trade against those. I know, look, they're putting in new highs, and everyone wants to sell into a new high and be the opposite side. And I should imagine there's a build up of retail sentiment getting short on these. But I would personally, I'd stand alone, let them carry on pushing up. Meanwhile, in the S&P's world, in the USA, we've got not a lot going on there. Consolidation, but consolidation near the highs. All three markets actually, pretty much similar picture here. To me, to get on the bear, if these were to turn bearish, I'd look for a break of the lows there and give us a lower high. That in these markets, you see it possibly happening with the Dow before the other two. It may just lead the way, but at the moment it's still bullish, and it's until that, as I say, until those lows are broken, it's, for me, it's a bullish market. Crypto. So, okay, we turned the corner a little bit here for now for Bitcoin. A bit of a correction today so far. Yesterday it sort of saw a sell-off. Obviously, we've broken through my little trend line there. Are we going to find support around where we are at 60, or is it going to come down to the sort of previous sort of area about 50, 56 there? But it does look a little bit soft, as what it's done is put a lower high in on the near term, just looking that bit softer, and Ethereum's joined it. Opportunities to buy, I think, maybe a bit lower down if we see some support. I mean, I'm looking at Ethereum at around about 4,005, somewhere in that region, maybe a little bit low 4,000 itself, the round number, just under potential. So it may get, maybe just giving opportunities to buy. If it just slicks through these, well, just stand aside. But Ripple also off back into its daily 100. Right, nothing else for you there. Some very much business as usual. Continue on. Quieter mornings at the moment, right the way through, but the afternoons are still picking up. Anyway, I wish you a great day, and I'll catch you in the morning. Bye for now.